Last time we talked about how to effortlessly memorize a lot of briefs. Today, we're going to see how to incorporate those briefs into our habit. Let's look at Facebook's Elmo in a kilt. He's so cute. We want to be the Elmo that uses a lot of briefs and is using a less stroke-intensive way to type stenographically. His hands are less tired at the end of the workday. If you are enjoying my video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Learning to use briefs is a lot of work. First, you have to memorize the definition of the brief. Then you have to incorporate it into your habit in real life, typing stenographically. So, if you do all this work just to memorize and incorporate a brief, it's useful for us to digress and consider the relative value of memorizing various types of briefs. If you have a lot of mental RAM, you can memorize briefs for just about everything. But let's say you have limited supply of RAM and you want to use it wisely. I would say the highest value words to be briefed are the little words that can be clumped together into phrases. See the Stened Dictionary of Briefs and Phrases for examples of what I'm talking about. And he said is one such example. And you were is another. That he was is a third. You see how these small words can be clumped together in a one-stroke brief? That's highly valuable because small words come up in speech way more frequently than big words do. So you should put a premium on trying to memorize the small words clumped together as phrases into a single stroke brief. Those give you the most bang for your buck, memorizing and incorporating briefs. Second, you should brief multisyllabic words that are frequently used. Beyond that, you should just type everything else out phonetically and not worry about briefing everything else. It's not worth the time and effort. Now that we've finished our discussion about the relative value of briefing words, let's take a look at how we incorporate the briefs we've memorized into a real-life habit. We've seen from the last video how to use the principle of advertising to memorize a lot of briefs. But how do we incorporate those briefs that we've memorized into our habit? Here's how I did it when I was in school. First, let's admit it's a problem trying to incorporate briefs if you're using audio dictation. You'll never remember that something is briefable as a phrase if you just hear it coming at you in audio format. You may barely recognize once you've typed out the brief phonetically in 3 strokes that it was a briefable phrase, or you may not realize it at all. So here's what I did. I got articles off the internet that were topics I liked to read about, psychology, news, etc., and copy and pasted the text into a notepad file. From there, I would Control A to select all, and Control C to copy, and Control V to paste it into a Microsoft Word document. This got rid of the formatting by using Notepad first. Then I would use Search to find all of the briefs and highlight them in yellow. Then next to the brief that I had highlighted in yellow, I would type the stenographic brief outline for that phrase or multisyllabic word that I was trying to incorporate into a briefing habit. Am I making sense to you? Comment below if this makes sense. When I was finished with marking up all the text and inserting all the visual prompts for the correct stenographic outlines for the briefs that I had highlighted, I would print out the file and use it to practice visually. I would type stenographically to the seen words on the page, and the highlighted brief with the steno outline would cue me to use the brief in context of a sentence where the brief could live in real life. This way, I incorporated many briefs into habitual practice. I also got the free magazines from the Saratoga Library in California, where West Valley College is located nearby, and I would hunt for the briefs visually and manually highlight them in yellow and handwrite the steno outline for the brief next to the highlighted phrase. Then I would use that magazine page to practice visually. This helped me to never miss a word like you do in dictation. If you just go by sight, you'll always be able to slow down and not miss any words. This is great because then you practice the briefs in context of the sentences they occur in, and the muscle memory will still be building up even though the input is not auditory but visual. Eventually, when you do auditory input, the muscle memory that you practiced during visual input will kick in, and you'll be better equipped to incorporate it in real life dictation. Okay, so that is quite a lot of intentional practice. You see how much work it becomes to incorporate a brief. You use visual practice, and eventually, when you do auditory practice, it will have the muscle memory that you practiced previously. Okay, so that's the lesson for today. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.